It wasn't until I went into coaching in when did I start? In 1978. I became the head women's tennis coach at UNLV, and Title IX was starting to make its play a little more active. I think it started in 1972, but in 1978 when I took over as the women's coach, and we were starting to get a little bit better funding. But again, you know, in 1981 we hired a new athletic director at UNLV. I had been the head women's tennis coach for 3 years and sat down with him and said, I want more scholarships, want more travel funding, and he said, we're going to drop women's tennis. So, and then he asked me to if I was ever interested in being an administrator, and I said, absolutely not. I want to, you know, coach tennis. He said, well, your program's going to be dropped because I need the money to move around in the other programs. And so I immediately changed and said, you know what, I've always wanted to be an administrator. So you go with the flow, but at that time, you know, trying to figure out how to deal with Title IX, how to make sure your female student athletes were treated fairly and equitable and had similar facilities. So I kind of came up through the ranks and watched the national Donna Lopianos and some of those people who really were crusading for women across the country, and it was pretty cool for me to see it. I'd like to say, you know, I knew who those trailblazers were. We were just trying to get by at UNLV.